This is a podcast for spiritual downloads, star seeds, light workers, and authenticity. Spiritual awareness is advised. Welcome to the 1111 Synchronized Podcast. So glad to have you here. Let's all join in by taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Can you feel the vibes? Can you feel the love tonight? Yes, there is a lion that is sleeping peacefully in the jungle. So, how's everyone doing out there? I hope everyone is doing well, staying safe. And as always, if you have any topic requests, please send those to my inbox at Agent K21 Podcast on Instagram, on Twitter at Agent K21. You can find me on those social media platforms and let me know what you'd like to hear. But today is the day for the Lionsgate. Now, some of you may have heard of this, some of you may have not. Either way, both are welcome. We're going to talk about it today, and I'm not alone. I have a special guest that will be joining me to talk more in depth about what is the Lionsgate, what are portals, what does all of this mean, etc. And there's been a lot behind the scenes going on, so I had to get some backup to help me with this episode. So I have a special guest that will be joining me later, so please stay tuned for that. Additionally, I'm so honored, so honored to have also collaborated with a very talented artist. So this artist has been diligently working on this masterpiece that has been created as the cover art for this episode. So please take a look at that, and I'm going to give you all the information. It'll be in the description below. But this artist from Blue Ridge Mountains of North Carolina is an illustrator, works with oil paint, wood block painting, animations, just incredible artist. And I'm so privileged and so honored to have collaborated on this masterpiece here. So if you want to follow our creative artist, you can follow her at Erica Bussey on Instagram, and I'll have her website available. Also, she is working on publishing a book right now. She is a children's illustrator working on a children's book, so please support, and definitely support Elizabeth, my special guest, who will be joining to talk about portals. She is an energy healer and Reiki Master and all of these wonderful things, and I'm so grateful to have the privilege and honor to work with both of them. With this being a very heightened time, you may be feeling maybe imbalanced or just anxious, nervous, depressed. However, as the times are shifting right now, energy is in flux and can be very challenging to manage. And I just want to remind you guys that you're not alone, that I do provide donation-based counseling, especially for those who are having spiritual awakenings and for those who may not resonate with traditional counseling. I do provide that, and all my information will be in the link below, the description below for the link will be there as well. Also, I am getting my videos out on YouTube, so please, if you haven't already, subscribe to the podcast. Subscribe on whichever platform you listen to, and also subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. Go ahead and click that bell notification so you can be made aware when these are made available. Additionally, if you do have a request, say you do have a topic that you would like to be discussed, but you are not on social media, or you prefer not to communicate that way, of course you can always send me an email or text, however. But additionally, if you have the Anchor app, you can actually send me a voice memo with your request, and I will add that to the episode. So just be mindful, if you send me a voice memo, there's a good chance it will be played. So just be mindful if that's something that you're interested in. That is also an option. All right, so this is going to be a lengthy little episode here, but it's all for the ride here. So we want to talk about what is the Lionsgate. what is this? Like, maybe you've never heard of the Lion's Gate, maybe you have, and maybe you don't really understand. And so definitely want to talk about the Lion's Gate, and I have certain resources that send me articles and videos that I just so happen to stumble upon that I will also have made available for you guys. But what the Lion's Gate is, it's really a doorway into becoming the greatest version of yourself. Okay, it's an opportunity. Okay, so this is my opinion first. I want to give you some of the downloads I've been getting, and then I will read an article so that we're on the same page of what the actual Lion's Gate is. But I've been getting a lot of downloads. Maybe you have as well. And their Lion's Gate is considered the Lion's Gate, I believe, because right now we are in the season of the zodiac sign Leo, which is governed by the lion. It is represented by the lion. And additionally, with that, it is really a time of choosing which kind of lion do we want to be. Do we want to be the courageous lion, or do we want to be the cowardly lion? Now, either one is fine. Either choice is fine. Some days you have to be the cowardly lion. Some days you're going to be courageous. It's no right or wrong. It's more about which path do you want to align to. So this season is really giving us the courage and the bravery to do things maybe that we've never done, or maybe things that we were timid or afraid to do. Now we have the courage to do them. It's also a really accelerated time, so you might have had a burst of energy, like all of a sudden. And that's more so to do with the energy shifts and the energy that's happening. We also have a new moon happening today. So new moon is... the moon goes through phases, and one of those phases is considered a new moon. Now, during a new moon, the moon is not visible in the sky because it is being birthed into a new cycle, into a new season. So very much similar to what we may be experiencing is we are going into a new season, a new beginning, ushering in a new timeline, a new way of being. And with that, everything may be dark, so fret not if you're in a dark place. Perhaps you are just the seed that has been buried and you are going to blossom here soon. And so this is a great time to set those intentions and to water them, to plant the seed and watch it manifest in a few weeks during the full moon. So this is a great time to set a new moon intention, and basically your intention is just what you would like to see happen. Is your petition out to the universe, and without expectation or anything like that, releasing it in a non-attached fashion for the highest. That it could be just as simple as that. It's a mantra or a meditation, that if you will. And so that's happening. And then just so many other coincidences or rare things that are going on right now. I decided to wear yellow right now because yellow is governing this energy of the Lion's Gate, as the zodiac sign Leo governs the solar plexus, which is represented by the color yellow. So I'm wearing my gold, my yellow today, to show and to empower and activate those areas. So let's get into what is the Lion's Gate. Now, I'm going to read an article here that was sent to me by one of my resources. Okay, I have different resources that I connect with on my journey, and I will have some information about this later. But I just want to read this so that we're all on the same page and we all kind of understand what is actually happening. Okay, so this article comes from Cassidy Kane. She is an incredible resource I've connected with, and she recently posted that she's having a private group of spiritual people, and she's only taking a few select people, and I believe that time has actually closed, but I was able to apply to this private group and was accepted into that. So maybe there will be some new developments coming in the new season here. But this article really talks about the energy right now for the Lionsgate. Now, the Lionsgate portal has been open since July 26th, and it will remain open until August 12th. Okay, so we're headed into a heightened time for soul remembrance and unity with the Lionsgate star portal at its most open and activity this week, also known as the Sirius portal. This time has been celebrated since ancient Egypt, or Kemet. Pyramids were constructed in its honor, as the special star aligned on 8/8 each year. The pyramids of Giza, aligned with Orion's belt, include Sirius. The star Sirius is the brightest star. Known as a time of bridging into higher realms, this time was said to bring a direct connection between the earth plane and the divine. So it is a heightened portal of not only manifestation of spiritual power, but remembrance and bringing online facets and gifts of the soul and the highest aspects of self in the higher dimensional templates. We start off the week with this energy opening and blossoming gradually and increasing throughout into the next week. So she continues to say that she was prompted a few months ago and shown several visions of the Egyptian gods led by Skemet, the lion goddess, accompanied by powerful synchronicities and signs. She was given the request to channel a star activation ceremony for those who are interested in that to release at this time. A gateway ceremony with deep activations of latent soul gifts, coding in light origin link-ups in the ancient forgotten masculine and feminine 3D physical templates. Okay, so if you're interested in that, I will provide that as well in the description at some point. So the timelines are shifting, continuing here with the article. This year, we also have a new moon in Leo on 8/8, which adds to the immense spiritual potential of the Lionsgate. We are opening to a new beginning, says Spirit. There is a massive shift in the Ascension Project working to reach through, a new self and new connection wanting to emerge. Ancient wisdom reawakening. If we release the past and open to a higher state, use your choices, your awareness to opt in to your highest. Again, as mentioned before, we could just sit back and be completely transformed without personal input at these gateway times. The whole planet and everyone on it would be living their bliss and be awakened spiritually. And that's clearly not the case. So if doubt, skepticism, and other negativity crops up, make sure you clear it so that it's not there in the background negatively affecting your manifestations behind the scenes. This is especially related to manifesting unity and true love, as they oppose Juno, the astral of soul relationships and marriages. Don't listen to the shadows is key. The good news is Juno moves direct this upcoming Monday, so we see that if you can stay in charge of yourself and deal with any negativity that seems to tempt you or coerce you off track, love and unity will flow in turn. We also have a highly significant event as Mercury conjuncts the Sun this week. It shows we have an intense focus on identity, self, and how we communicate ourselves to the world. We tend to lose perspective or have a tricky time seeing, perceiving, communicating, thinking clearly when this happens. So we are invited to rethink how we see ourselves. We could describe the effect of this as a mini Mercury retrograde, and it's a reoccurring theme in 2021. The interplay between Mercury and the Sun. The purpose is to get us to rethink how we see ourselves and to release any false limitations we have accepted into our lives. So we're open to our highest capabilities and ideals to come to fruition. And this ties in powerfully with the Lionsgate, echoing themes of soul empowerment, awakening to our true light. And So I'm going to continue to skip through here. There are a few other things that were mentioned here. So new light and higher potential. I'm not reading the whole article. I'm kind of summarizing here. So as the Lion's Gate opens and the new moon hits on Sunday, 8/8, which is today, we see that massive new light and higher potential floods in. However, there may be challenges, as we have several oppositions still. We're shown the following by Spirit. Not everyone wants a new and higher reality. Not everyone wants to release their old ways of doing things, the 3D reality, conflict, ego consciousness. Some people and parts of the planet are very comfortable in the drama of regular life and the unconsciousness of perceiving life as being out of their hands and blaming others. We're shown that dealing with this is a part of the spiritual journey. We cannot convince everyone. We have to allow others to experientially learn things. We cannot always push them with our words or even with opposition. But when we hold light in our system, when we hold the vision of a new and harmonious reality, it affects everyone. It can awaken people just from being around you. Even those who are skeptical, cynical, angry, and wounded, who want to stay in their darkness. So we are shown our only job is to hold light. We are not being asked to rescue or convince others, especially those who are not ready. When we just allow light to lift us higher, to allow more of our soul's gifts and wisdom to activate in our human life, we cause massive positive ripple effects in the field, on the planet, our connections in the collective. This is how we awaken others without ever having to come into contact with them directly. So this Lion's Gate / Leo new moon portal, focus on yourself. Focus on soaking in the highest you can align with. Allow your system to update. Clear out any old baggage that comes up and know that you are supported. Everything else can wait. Go within at this time, above all, because there is much waiting to reach you. Divine illumination. I just want to take a pause right there because had a really funny, interesting thing happen where I went to get my hair retwisted, right? And I walk in and there's already, some clients getting their hair done as well. And and so I'm in sitting waiting for my turn, and there's a mother and child, and the mother is waiting for her child to have her hair done. And the mother says something like I know I annoy you, or something like that. Then the little girl says, yeah, you do. And my loctician, this person, my loctician goes, you're not supposed to say that. You're supposed to say, no, you don't, Mom, or something like that. And then I said, then I chimed in my 2 cents. I said, well, honesty is always the best policy. And the whole room just got quiet. The whole room just got quiet. So reading your light is just, when people are not ready or don't want to come into a newer understanding of the way life can be, you don't even have to do anything besides be your authentic truth and be yourself. And those who resonate with it will naturally gravitate towards you, and those who don't will either be repelled from you or they will learn from you in a subconscious way, perhaps. And so just reading this article, I thought about that, and I just kind of laughed because I used to so much not like that feeling of feeling isolated in my thoughts, just growing up being different from people, and anything I would say or do was like stared at or questioned, or the room would just go quiet, and that used to bother me. And now I'm just like, it's kind of humorous. So this time of heightened awareness, going back to the article here, dreams, visions, and guidance is incoming. So we are shown there is so much support wanting to reach you. You may have significant dreams at this time. You may hear words or get intuitive flashes or insights. You may see visions or encounter synchronicities more than normal. More likely from your guidance team than you have ever been connected to before, to remind you that you are supported. You are here for a reason. You have not been forgotten. Above all, your soul is coming online more and more, and this is a key time. Ancient gifts may be lighting up in your system, illumination happening from within. And in this, the old illusions you were told about who you were may crumble. You may feel challenged as old identity structures are pushed to shift out. Stay in your power. Know that this is happening and it will flow a lot more smoothly. This is set to be a week of inner transformation. What is happening right now may not have immediate outer effects, but we're shown that it will continue to affect the whole rest of these next 12 months and your path. Go within and allow your support team to reach you. There is a way, and it goes via the heart. And that's how the article ends. And so I am so appreciative to have received that article, as things line up, and definitely a lot of synchronicities happening. The fact that let me go exit out of this. The fact that she mentioned that this is an ancient time. The fact that when you go back to the origins of the Lion's Gate, how it was really started from the ancient times. Now, the future has an ancient heart. The future is female, and the future has an ancient heart. And so a lot of the things that we're experiencing are just nothing is new under the sun. So it's coming back around. And, this is also a really great time to clear any old ancient wounds from former times, and from having past life regressions done, and clearing the Akashic records, etc. Now, there's been a lot of energy going on, a whole lot of energy happening, and at the start of the Lion's Gate, I had a really intense night terror. Now, night terrors are really intense nightmares, and it's nothing really new to have happen, but it was very intense, and typically I know exactly what's happening. I can at least get some kind of guidance as to what is occurring in the spiritual realm. But this time, I was thwarted out of my dream, and I was like, what was that? Like, I couldn't even identify what was happening. And I reached out to one of my soul tribe later on and was kind of recalling the story. But as I had the dream and I was waking out of my slumber, I was kind of like, whoa, that was intense. I can't even identify where that energy was coming from. And I was guided to do some Akashic record clearing. And so I put on a meditation, a personal meditation. It can't be found, but I put on a personal meditation for Akashic record clearing. And after I did, I was revealed where the energies were coming from. Now, before I continue that story, I just want to say that, with the Lion's Gate being open, there's a lot of energy that is pouring through, some benevolent, some maleficent energy as well. And so, as it was turn out that synchronicity is happening, is one of the resources I connect with on YouTube actually posted a video about a week ago. about a week ago, and it was like about the Lion's Gate. And this video really kind of confirmed things that I knew intuitively, but actually hearing it, I was like, whoa, that makes a lot of sense. So there's so much energy going on right now. So light workers and shadow workers are diligently working equally as hard right now. And I just say this to just be mindful of, if you're feeling attacked spiritually, or just like you're not in control of your life or yourself, or any type of thing that you just feel like, what is happening? It's a lot of energy going on. So fret not. Again, you're always safe, you're always protected. Connect back to the divine, connect back to the source, connect back to light and love, and know that you are always safe in that. But there's a lot of energy happening, so be very discerning and very diligent and mindful of what you interact with. And so I'm watching this video, and she mentions, and I will have the link in the description, because I think that's a really important video to really understand what the Lion's Gate is and more about it, especially while this time frame is open. In this video, she mentioned, that there's so much energy happening, and I didn't even realize this event happened on this date. But she said, that the energy can be really intense right now, and that the atomic bombing of Nagasaki and Hiroshima happened on the Lion's Gate, happened on 8/8. If you know when that happened, send me you get a golden ticket, a golden star. I don't have the dates right now of when that actually occurred. But you know what? We're going to go ahead and go to Google, because now I need to know, when was the atomic bomb? Well, I will do that at some point. But I just felt like, okay, that's not a coincidence that happened during that time. That's not by accident at all. These things happen for a reason. I'm trying to look it up now, because now I really want to know. Yeah, what date was that? Okay, so it happened August 6, 1945 to August 9th, 1945. Okay. So during this time of heightened portal openings, there's, a lot of energy that can occur. And so that happened during that time. Now, for those of you who already know this about me and have heard some of this, or just know me personally, I spent part of my childhood growing up in Japan. And I've been to the atomic bomb sites in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Went there on a field trip, and it's very, 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 very devastating, very, very traumatic. There are still images from what I saw that I still can't even get out of my mind. And I just bring that up because it's only how many years ago, and just imagining how much trauma that has caused, especially for any survivors or anyone who was there during that time. So there's a lot of energy that's happening, and I bring this up because I used to think, I kind of knew this intuitively, but this is actually a thing, of just, we live in a world of duality. So where there's equally amount of light, there will be equally, maybe not equally, I don't know exactly the proportions, but there will be darkness as well as light that can occur. And a couple years ago, I kind of shared this, I believe, on my Spiritual Awakening episode. So if you want to check that out, I'll have that listed as well. But I met a wizard, or a magician, or a warlock, basically, who was into some really dark, negative energies. And the day that I met this person was 8/8/08. Now, that person set that whole thing up. Okay, I don't think that was by accident. Now, it helped me on my spiritual journey, but there was also a lot of dark energies that were involved in that time space. And I've noticed that around this time, I've encountered shadow workers, shadow soulmates, or shadow soul workers, or however you want to call it. And 2 years ago, I had another shadow worker encounter. And just be mindful that everything that glitters isn't gold. And so I had another shadow connection show up in my time space. And I'm bringing this up because I feel like there are themes from 2 years ago that are rotating around again. And I say that because earlier this week, themes from 2 years ago popped back up. And I was like, okay. And I was given an opportunity of which timeline I wanted to align with. There was one where I could just continue as I was. There was another where I could revert back to where I've come from. Another timeline that was parallel. It was a parallel timeline, as in it's close to what you think you want, but it's like close but no cigar. It was that kind of feeling. Then there's another timeline that opened up that I felt was more towards my highest path. And if you don't know what I'm talking about at all, that's quite all right. Talk about timelines another day, but just to summarize, we are always making choices. We are always interacting with things through our choices. And, the previous episode I talked about good karma. So I'd recommend you check that out if you want to know more about making choices and things happening in a certain way. Well, 8, today is the 8th of the 8th month. 8 on its side becomes infinity. The infinity loop is a repetitive cycle that repeats indefinitely. There's also an intersection that happens on the infinity symbol. And you'll hear more about the importance of intersections and how that creates a portal as well later on with my special guest. And so I was thinking about it. 8 is also another highly karmic number because 8 is infinity. Okay, so this is why I recommend you check out the Good Karma episode, because I talk about being in loops, being in cycles that have repeated for generations or have repeated for many lives. Okay, so basically we're given the opportunity right now to align with whichever path we choose, and this gateway is opening up to push forward what's already there, essentially. And so I have been having a lot of downloads because I've really kind of jumped timelines, and what I mean by that is I made a choice that was not congruent to what was expected. And I don't know if that makes sense, but there's that one path that is like, okay, this would be easy, this would be whatever, but then you go opposite of that. You rebel against that, not in a disrespectful way, but just like, that was me 2 days ago. Nah, we're not doing that. And you choose something completely different and you throw the whole thing off. Well, that's kind of what has happened in my regards. And so, again, as the universe would have it, a tarot reader that I follow just posted a video talking about timelines. And I will also have that in the description as well. And, I usually resonate with this tarot reader, but I'm kind of like in limbo phase. It feels like our in between space and time. So nothing is really resonating. I shouldn't say nothing, but some of the things I used to be aligned with are not having the same type of resonance anymore. So maybe you're experiencing that too. And so going back to the dream I had earlier, beginning of the Lion's Gate. So I had this dream, and I couldn't pinpoint where this energy was coming from. And again, Spirit inclined me to clear the Akashic records. And so I did. And after I did, I was revealed. The person's face literally just showed up. And I was like, oh, okay. And this person is someone that I know. And I was also shown 3 other people, 3 other men, specifically 3 men I was shown that I have met in this life, and I'm sure at other times as well. And I just thought, whoa. And I felt that they all carry the same spirit. I don't even remember all 3 of them now. I just remember 2 in particular right now. And they operate on that shadow energy. Now, people can operate in dark stuff without their conscious knowledge, People can do things ignorantly. Ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance can be very dangerous if not careful. And so I was shown something by the spirit, and I was kind of like, it's a little TMI, spirit, I don't need to know that. But I was shown something about this individual, and I'll just share it, but I will say it is TMI. The spirit showed me that this person either in the physical or in the spirit realm has been attempting to manifest me through orgasms. And I thought, okay, now there's a lot of energy through sexual power, sexual energy. There's a lot there. And that is really beneficial when there's consent and there is free will given. However, when there's not consent and when there's not free will given, it can become distorted and corrupted. And so the intentions and the manifestations will also reveal that. If you do not do things with a pure intention, the manifestation cannot be pure as well, and you will get perhaps not the results you wanted. And so I thought, whoa, that's kind of crazy. Then that person reached out to me today. And I'm just like, okay. So I've had, encounters with shadow energies, especially during this time. And so maybe you have as well. And you're kind of wondering, like, what is happening? Trust your spirit. Spirit may reveal things that seem crazy or that seem just off the wall, off the chain. But it's there for a reason, and so investigate more or just trust more. And so all of that's happening, and you don't have to agree to anything. You can always opt out. Because no one can really take away your free will. That is a God-given gift that cannot be taken away from you. People can try to impose on it, but and sometimes we may give away our free will unintentionally as well. But it's yours. It's not something that will ever vanish from you. And so this time right now is very rare because, as they say, the shift happens in threes. Now there are double things that are happening, and so I wrote this down that the shift happens in threes, and right now we have two stars that are aligned. Our sun and the star Sirius, which may be a sun to another place, who knows. If you want to know more about Sirius and the Sirian's starseed constellation, I have a whole episode about Sirius and about starseeds in general, so please feel free to check that out as well. But our sun is aligned with another sun. Our star is aligned with the highest and brightest star of the universe that we know. And we also have two moons that are in the same sign. Now, follow what I'm saying. I'm not saying the moon and the sun, even though the moon and the sun are in the same sign. But what I noticed is we just had a full moon in Aquarius, and we are about to have another full moon in Aquarius. So anytime you see those synchronicities where there's two things back to back, it's kind of like, okay, something's happening. Then we also have the 2 8s, the 8th month of the 8th day. So we have two stars aligned, two full moons in the same sign coming up, and two number 8s. So that's 3 double events that are happening. And so the message I received regarding that is, the shift happens in threes. So, and everything is happening in double. The number 2 is the number of witness. And I feel that we are about to witness miracles. We are about to witness miraculous events, whatever that means for you in your life personally. But we're about to witness something that's going to be done within the next couple days, within the next moments, the next times that we're shifting into. Also, that everything happens in twos, or everything has a 2. There's going to be second chances also. So if you thought something, you missed the boat on something, I feel that there's another chance coming. Second chances for whatever you're trying to manifest. Maybe you didn't set the intentions you wanted before. You're giving another opportunity. So I believe that we're having a second chance. I also, I've shared this before, but I'll share it again. I believe I shared it at least. I've shared that every first of the month is kind of my own personal tradition. I listen to a song every first day of the month, and it's called The Best Is Yet to Come. I believe The Best Is Yet to Come. It is by Donna Lawrence and the Tri-City Singers. The Best Is Yet to Come by Donna Lawrence and the Tri-City Singers. There is a line that says, "For all of the trouble you've been through, the blessing is double just for you." For all of the trouble you've been through, the blessing is double just for you. So I believe that for those of you who have been really just handed a really difficult hand where the challenges seem to never stop, the blessings are about to overflow as well. I really do feel that things are about to increase and things are shifting, and that everything you went through was not in vain, and there's opportunity, there's a blessing, there's double coming towards you. And just to close, because I don't want to keep this going on super long, I know this is going to be a lengthy episode already, but the other thing is I feel another theme, and it was even mentioned in the article, but as something else I've been feeling, is that this is going to be a time to understand our identity, to either reinvent ourselves or to understand who we truly are. Because the sun, which is the planet that governs the zodiac sign Leo, which is what's happening now, the sun represents your identity. So you may know your sun zodiac sign. That's the sun. That's the day you were born. That's what governs that zodiac space, is that sun was in that sign when you were born. So, whether you're born Leo or something else, your sun sign represents your identity. And the moon is also in Leo as well. And so, the moon can be the illusion, the unseen, the mystery. And so the fact that the moon and the sun are both in the same sign right now, I believe that it's really going to answer or reveal answers to the question, who am I? Maybe you feel lost. Maybe you feel off track. Maybe you're questioning, who am I? Where do I want to go from here? What am I even doing? What is my purpose? I feel that either those answers are going to be revealed, or that you will have the courage to pursue those answers and to rise to the occasion to take on those answers and to really operate from that space. And so I hope some of this makes sense to you guys. I appreciate you guys so very much, and please stick around for this beautiful special guest that is going to share such knowledge. You're not going to want to miss this. If you need to take a break, we'll see you after the break, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time. So be well. Happy new moon. Happy Lionsgate. Sending you guys so much love and so much light. Until next time. Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you guys for staying tuned. I have a very special guest here. Now, as always, I'm going to let my special guest let your energy introduce yourself. So please share anything that you would like us to know before we get started.
Well, hello, everyone, and happy Lionsgate. And I am so thrilled and honored and pleased to be able to hear with Keandra, who is an amazing person, a great friend, and just helping all of us to expand our consciousness. So I appreciate being here. Keandra asked me to be here today. I'm Elizabeth Gifford Maffei. I'm a quantum growth practitioner, a spiritual life coach, Reiki Master. I work with the angelic realm as well, intuitive medium. And I bring all of these spiritual tools together to help all of us expand, not only the clients whom I work with, but help all of us expand in the consciousness. and just continue to raise. And so I'm just thrilled to be here today. Thank you.
Yes, thank you as well. It's truly an honor to have you here. And I'm so grateful that our time's connected to allow this, because I am truly honored to have you talk about portals, as that's what we are discussing today, the Lion's Gate, and talking about portals. And I know upon our initial meeting, you said you could talk about portals forever. So I thought you would be the perfect person to talk about this. So thank you for just being here and for sharing your gifts and knowledge with us. So I want to just start by asking the basic question as, what is a portal? What are portals?
Okay. Well, start out by saying that everything is energy or fragments of energy, but everything is energy. You are, I am, everything that we see and that we don't see and when I say the world, I mean in the universe,
Yes.
is energy. And there's been so much practice and so much investigation, even by the highest minds, by scientists, to look into the energy. So all of this personally fascinates me. And, energy is really important to understand. It's in some ways not complicated because it can vibrate, energy vibrates, and it can vibrate at a lower or a higher frequency. So, for example, think music, right? Music has rhythmic frequencies, and as it changes and it goes up and down the scale, the frequency of the vibration becomes faster or slower. And honestly, that explains so much just to start out with. So, and another thing I just wanted to bring up, and then we'll start with that portal, is that if you're a highly sensitive person, you may have heard the name empathic, right? Or some people will go around and say, well, I'm an empath. Sometimes they know what that means, but they really don't know what that means. But the bottom line is you can feel vibration and you're more sensitive to feeling that. So one of the reasons why we're getting together to talk about Lionsgate today is feeling the vibration of what's going on universally and how we absorb it in our own and what we do with it or not do with it. Of course, we have free. Thank you for letting me start that way. Yes. So what is a portal? So there are many things a portal is, but if you think about it as an intersection, and we can go to basic math, which when I was in school was not my favorite subject, right? Geometry was, but put me in algebra and I'm like, yeah, no, right? No. But what a portal is the intersection of two lines. So you think about that in math, right? But it's the intersection of what are called ley lines, which are energetic grids on our Earth. Now, of course, there are portals out in space and there are portals in other locations and in different dimensions as well. We'll talk about that. But it's the intersection of the energetic grid on the Earth. And that's where the energy at that intersection creates a vortex or a portal. And it's basically a rotating, spinning, gathering of energy, like we talked about what energy is, right? And it can either rotate in a clockwise direction or a counterclockwise direction. And it can also be described as a gateway through and from and into and out of other dimensions. So it's an access point. It's like a gate. It's a doorway. It's a window, whatever you want to call. An access point where energy can pass through from one dimension to another. So in essence, it's a circular spinning energy that provides a doorway from one world to another. So that's what a portal is.
I love that definition. And, as you were talking about it, it made me connect back to the chakras and thinking about the meridians in our bodies and how the chakras have a certain spinning motion and, circular or different shapes that it can take on. Is that kind of similar to what's happening in the grid as well? Is that a reflection?
Absolutely. And our chakras are we have all of those in and around our etheric bodies, and they are actually portals. So we can, touch on that a little later and go in depth in what that means for us and how we're affected by that. But you're absolutely correct. They are portals.
That's wonderful. Absolutely. And I know you mentioned that there's just so much energy going on right now. So, what exactly is the Lion's Gate? And what have you been feeling from it so far?
Oh, well, I'd love to ask you what you've been feeling, but I have been feeling a couple of things. I've been feeling very high energy in that, and because I'm highly sensitive as well, is almost almost a little anxious, like on edge, right? And there's really no reason for me for anxiety or stress or whatever. I work on a daily basis to eliminate any stress that comes up. I don't buy into drama. I don't connect to any of that, and I help my clients to delete and get rid of that as well. But there's just it's when it's frequency, you can feel it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not that it doesn't align with me, it's just a higher vibration. And so I've been feeling like anxious. I've been feeling like I've been pulled into portals this whole time. I've also been feeling, especially in Lion's Gate, it is attuned to, if you'd like to say it that way, to creativity. And I found myself, even this whole entire month just prior, leading up to the Lion's Gate, is revisiting creative things that I used to do like decades ago. I started jewelry making again, and sewing, and doing arranging and doing things that are creative, hands-on, bringing my thoughts and emotions into the physical world. And I'm like, what? I mean, this was at least about a month ago. I'm like, what is going on? This is so weird. I'm pulling out my paints, and I'm like, it's just so bizarre. But that's exactly what energy of creativity. So
Yeah,
that's what I've been feeling. How about you?
yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. Just because, the Lion's Gate and the zodiac sign that the Lion's Gate represents is connected to the solar plexus, which is creativity. So it kind of makes a lot of sense. Yeah, this time has just been feeling really accelerated. For me, it's just been like, I feel kind of like what you mentioned about like time. I feel in between time. Like I feel and know that I've kind of jumped or skipped some timelines. So I'm like, I don't even know exactly. I'm just kind of flowing with it. But I've been feeling a sense of calm, but I have been also feeling a lot of collective energy around me. And I'm just kind of like, huh, that doesn't really align or resonate with me, but I have compassion on, those that may be experiencing it, and just been picking up on those frequencies as well. Um, and you mentioned just like time and different portals. So what kind of portals exist? What are the different types of portals that are out there?
Well, that's a great question, and I mean, I'm going to share a bunch that I am aware of. I believe that the universe is so rich with knowledge that there's more out there that we are not even aware of, and it's our job to find out. It's our job to be present to it. It's our job to utilize everything that we are at our highest and best, and not only for ourselves, but it has to start there, but for the collective consciousness. So I will share some of those. So there are different types of portals. I'm sure you've experienced, and I'd love to hear some of what you've experienced as well. But the first one that I've thought of course, are earth portals.
Mm.
And those are those intersections of the ley lines. So there are major energy portals around our Earth. And for example, Machu Picchu in Peru is a high energy portal, and it's not surprising to me that the ancient civilizations understood this, and they built their structures and their temples and their communities right on the ley lines. You know, it's fascinating to figure out how did they know that, but I think that's for another podcast. But the pyramids at Giza are high energy portals as well, and they've gone back and forth about, oh, you know, were the pyramids burial monuments for the pharaohs? I don't believe they were. I think they were harnessing energy is what they were doing, and still do. But they're built on those ley lines. Sedona. Have you ever been to Sedona, Arizona?
No.
Oh my goodness. So there are quite a few portals, high energy areas in Sedona. One is at Bell Rock. One is literally at the airport in Sedona. Another one is in this little chapel called the Chapel of the Holy Cross that is built right into one of the rocks. And so these are these energy portals that have this high frequency. And, you know, if you know how to take advantage of those, they're beautiful places to visit. So those are, Stonehenge in England.
Yes.
Right. And when I was in the UK a couple of years ago, I didn't have the opportunity to visit Stonehenge, which is on my bucket list, but we did go to another circle, ancient circle. And I was able to have visions of the people who built it and what they did there. And there was a really sacred area within that, and the rituals that they did. So that was pretty fascinating. Mount Shasta. That's again on my bucket list as well. I know people who have been there, very high energy portals. So those are earth portals. Our beautiful mother Gaia, Pachamama, has these intersection of lines. Another one, are there any that you visited that you know of, the earth portals?
Not that I'm aware of. I feel like I may have without my knowledge, but not that I'm aware of.
Okay. And you may have not consciously known what was going on, but unconsciously probably felt a little different. And sometimes you can just be there and just feel, oh, this is so healing, or oh, this is so peaceful, or different. Sometimes it's just different, and you can't describe it. So beautiful. Another type of portal is the one that we kind of touched on, which are time portals. So have you ever felt like you've been pushed along during the day, especially lately? Like you had a plan for the day and forget about it because all of a sudden this came into your realm and this came into your realm, and you just kind of went from one thing to another. And at the end of the day, you turn around and you look and say, what happened? This day moved so quickly.
Yeah.
Right? So those are time portals that we kind of get pulled into. It's funny. I was experiencing that high energy most recently as yesterday. And I said, okay, I just need to sit down and tap into this for a moment. And when I sat and I closed my eyes, I could see, I was given the vision of this pulsating, almost like a circular pulsating vortex. And I'm like, okay, I'm just affirming that I'm being pulled into a time portal. So just go with it.
Yeah.
Right. Don't fight it.
Exactly.
You know, we can say, what I was supposed to do this at this time. No, forget it. Just go with the flow.
Yeah.
So things seem to be moving faster. There might be more demands on your time. You might feel, we might feel a little overwhelmed. Sometimes all of a sudden, out of the blue, these old memories surface. So it's like we're being pulled back in time, right? It's not just time. Time as we perceive it in the 3D world is linear. But with a time portal, we can be pulled back in time, either past lives or just an old memory of, I don't know, somebody you dated in high school or a childhood friend or whatever. All of a sudden it just comes into your consciousness and you're like, why would I think about that right now? Right? And then sometimes all of a sudden an experience will seem very familiar and deja vu, but I honestly intuitively feel that that's a time portal.
Yes.
Yeah. So there are a bunch more. I mean, I'd love to share, but if you have other questions, we can kind of, return to it. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, kind of just touching back on the earth portals, these ley lines, how and where do they intersect, and what causes these intersections?
So they're just energetic lines that are like a grid. It's just, what can I say? It's probably a scientific explanation, but there are grids going around and through our Earth, right? Energetic lines on it or inside. So we have on the Earth, we have crystals, right? Rock crystals,
Yeah.
that we find in our Earth, and these portals, right? These portals are created by the crystalline Earth. Now, as a side note, we are also crystalline. We also contain crystals within us, and so that's why we're so sensitive to energy. So these crystals in the Earth store energy, and they can amplify it. They can also contain information. And if you learn how to tap into the information of crystals, like a lot of people who are very spiritually minded, or metaphysically minded, they're attracted to crystals. If you come to my office, I can't get enough. I've collected rocks since I was a kid, right? And you're like, you go to the science center and you have a couple of bucks to bring a souvenir home, and most people bring home a poster or a rocket or whatever. I'm like, no, I want rocks.
Exactly.
Right? You get it? I found a set that I had since I was a kid, just recently. So anyway, the Earth contains these crystals, and they store energy and can also amplify the energy. They also transmit this stored energy. And that's why crystals, on a side note, are effective for energy healing and manifesting thoughts. So many of the portals or the vortices on the Earth are aligned, these crystals are aligned with star systems. Right? And you've heard this expression, as above, so below.
Yes.
Right? That's one of the basic laws of the universe. And so these portals exchange energy. And that's part of how the ley lines, if you think about it, it's connecting the dots. You've got all of these energetic systems on the Earth that are aligned with the star energy, and then it creates a line or a ley line on the Earth. And then you put enough lines together, they're going to intersect.
Yes.
Right.
Wow.
So
yes, thank
isn't that
you.
cool?
Yeah, that's awesome. And I love how everything is full circle. Like the things we are attracted to in our childhood, they're there for a reason, and then they come back up later on. And I love that. But mentioning the star systems, I know that the Lionsgate is really our alignment to the star system, Sirius. And also, you mentioned Giza, the pyramid. That's also has something to do. Can you share more about that and how that connects to the Lionsgate?
Sure. So we recognize the Lionsgate, and so a little bit of background. We recognize the Lionsgate each year on August 8th, which is today, right?
Yeah.
But there is actually a window of time prior to and after. And it really goes back to many, as we talk about many of the ancient civilizations, particularly the Egyptians. They were very much attuned to and aware of and aligned with Orion and the star Sirius. So if you look at the constellation Orion, you've got those three Orion's belt, right? Those three stars. And if you look at the Egyptians, you look at the pyramids of Giza, those three are aligned or were aligned at the time that they estimate the pyramids were built. They were aligned with that exact star system. And if you look at Orion, then you move to if you look up in the sky, is the star Sirius. So they were also aligned with that. So again, they created these energy pyramids that actually received the energy from Orion and the stars. And it wasn't only the Egyptians, the people in Arizona aligned their, if you look at their ancient civilization, they were aligned with Orion and Sirius. You look at Machu Picchu, you look at many cultures, ancient cultures around the world, and they aligned their, as we talk about, their temples with Orion. So the gate opens, if you will, and what is that gate we talk about? It's just an energy portal where the highest, it kind of brings the highest vibration around the 8th of August every year. And one of the reasons that the Egyptians understood this is because they watched what happened in that season. And what happened in that season is that they would get the rains. The floodplains would rise, and it would flood their fields and crops and nourish their crops. So we think of Egypt as a desert, right? That's what it appears to be at this time. But there's a lot of scientific evidence showing that it was a flourishing, lush garden, almost like a Garden of Eden.
Yeah.
Right? So they paid attention to when these seasons happened, and that was the time in which it was the peak of feeding their crops for them. So the cosmic alignment of the star Sirius and our star, which is the sun, right? And it's named the lion, as you said, because of the astrological time of Leo, the lion. And Sirius's alignment with the Earth also coincides with Orion, the Orion constellation aligning perfectly with these pyramids and these other structures that the in the past. So it opens up, if you will, the energy is there anyway. But if the Earth is ready to has a way to open and receive it, that's why that way is open, and we can utilize that energy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does. Thank you for sharing that. That's a lot of information. Yeah. And is there a way that portals open? I know you said that it opens. Is there a way, or is there how do they fluctuate? How do they open or close?
That's a great question. So, and a couple of things, and we talk about there are different types of portals, which, you and I can share in a little bit, but the Mother Earth, Mother Gaia, those portals are there. They're open, they're spinning. As far as I know, there aren't any humans who can open or close them. They're already there, right? They're there for our use and for Mother Earth's use. So we don't have the ability to open or close them. Portals can be opened intentionally or unintentionally. So it's good to be aware of that and how, right? It can be very simple, or it can be complicated. And I know that kind of sounds wishy-washy, but there are some simple ways to open and close portals. And then there are other ways that are complicated that I believe are, I don't want to say beyond our understanding, because it's my belief that we have all knowledge. It's just about how much are we able to tap into individually and as a collective.
Yes.
And we're moving toward, this is the age now where we're moving toward being able to tap into more, which is why we're having this conversation, right? So I think there's a lot more to be discovered about it. So when we talk about the different kinds of portals, it may help to understand how some are open or closed. So there really is no one answer. I'd love to talk about energy portals if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
Okay, cool. So another type of portal are energy portals, and entities or spirits can move in and out of these portals. And I think that's something that a lot of people maybe have either experienced or have had a question about, right? So when I do house clearings and blessings, I have experienced portals that, and I have had to close them because just remember we talked about energy can be sometimes just fragments. Everything is energy, but sometimes it's fragments of energy. And I can feel like these pieces of energy, stale energy, stuff that just doesn't make any sense, that doesn't belong in that person's home, just needs to stop having access to coming in, right? And as I said, spirits can come in as well. Spirits of those who have crossed over, who are attached or are known to those who are in the home, or sometimes they don't know who they are at all. All right, so we have their access. What these portals are the accesses to the other dimensions, and they can open when someone passes, when someone dies and goes to the next realm. So may I share a story?
Please.
Okay, awesome. So I experienced portals twice opening when someone passed. The first time was with my father. And we were all in the room. Our family was in the room gathering around him. And everybody else was just kind of talking and whatever. And I didn't even know or recognize that I had abilities. But I could all of a sudden see him, if you will, up in the corner. And it was if there was a portal, I could feel there was an opening, but he wasn't quite ready to go through. And his spirit had already left the body, but the body was still working on transition, if you will. It was a beautiful, beautiful time. And so when his spirit fully left the body and the body let go, I could see him up in the corner floating and just kind of admiring his family. And then I could see him go through the portal and it closed. Wow. And he was ready to go through. And the next day he brought me some messages. And then with my mother, that was really interesting. I was holding her right hand. So we think of our body, and you talked about chakras before, and we'll talk more about that if you like. The left side of our body is the receiving side, the bringing inside, and the right side of our body is the giving side or the receiving side. So I happened to be standing and holding her right hand. And I could feel like she was near completion of her life. And all of a sudden, I was inspired and I felt that I should raise, as I was holding her right hand, to raise my right hand. And I could see a portal open, and my father, through spirit, held my hand and literally pulled my mother's spirit through my body, out through my giving side, up through the portal. And it was that quick. It was like, okay, this is enough. You're ready. Let's go. You know, like, let's not waste any time. He was really anxious that he had passed, and he was really anxious
Mm.
to bring her back home.
Yeah.
So this portal opened and then just brought her right through and closed, and that was it. And her physical body was complete.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty interesting.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Wow. That's incredible when that happens, just these moments, and just that, like you said, you were still kind of tapping into your own spiritual gifts, and that you were still being utilized even in those moments. And my condolences to that situation, but also thank you for how you were used, how you were an instrument in that situation.
Yeah, no, it was an absolute, one of the highlights of my life, an absolute blessing. And I love that you said I wasn't, and affirmed that I wasn't totally aware of all of my gifts at that time. And I really want to encourage everybody to really take some time to recognize and acknowledge the gifts that each of us have as individuals.
Yes.
You may have been feeling it or saying, what was that? That was odd. That was kind of strange. That experience was kind of weird. What was that? And then we just kind of forget about it. Now's really the time to become more aware of it. Don't you agree?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And those gifts are, innate. They're always within us. We're always tapping into it, whether we consciously realize it or not. And I think it is definitely the time to open those gifts and start utilizing them. Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. I love that.
Yeah. Well, again, thank you for sharing. And you mentioned, you kind of mentioned this before, that just kind of returning to the Lion's Gate, is that the portal has been open for some time, but the peak is right now on 8. Can you tell us more about the significance of 8/8 and the alignment of that?
Oh, I would love to. This is fabulous. I love it. So, one of the things that I do help my clients with is, or a tool that I use for them, is numerology. And when I was a kid, I studied astrology, but I never became an astrologer. I depend on others to help me, guide me through that.
Mm-hmm.
But numerology, even though I didn't like math, right, the numbers still fast, and numbers have energy as well.
Yes.
So the numbers we utilize in numerology, the numbers 1 through 9. And the number 8 is a very powerful number. They all are for different reasons, but it's a very powerful number. It is the number of manifest. Think about it. August on the day. It is the number of manifestation, and it opens up this ability for us to be able to manifest, which we all have the ability anyway, but give us that higher energy to be able to and it's, if you look at 8/8 in numerology, there are what are called master numbers. There are master numbers 11, 22, and 33, and they're all associated with ascended masters. Now, even though 8/8, the double number, is not a master number, excuse me, when we see double numbers, and I'm sure you have, right? You see them all the time on license plates, or you look, all of a sudden you look at your phone and you're like, oh my gosh, it's 1111. What's that about? When we see double numbers or triple numbers, it's our God angels giving us a message to pay attention. And so today is a great day to pay attention to our manifesting abilities. Make sense?
Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Yeah. Thank you for that. And also, today is also a new moon in Leo as well. So, any significance about the new moon, or any energy you've been experiencing in regards to it?
Yeah, so it is a perfect time to set your intention in a new moon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But because the new moon in Leo is occurring on the Lion's Gate, it is an even more amplified. I mean, think of a small crystal and think of a room full of crystals, right? That's the difference. We've got huge amp of us being able to manifest. And on the new moon, as I'm sure you know, it's the perfect time to set an intention of what you desire to manifest moving forward, particularly for the next month or so, but you can set it for as long as you want. New moons are new beginnings.
Mm-hmm.
Full moon is completion, but new moons are new beginnings, new adventures, new things that you would like to bring into your life. The full moon is letting go of, okay, this didn't work, this no longer serves me.
Mm-hmm.
So the new moon in Leo is creativity and rebirth. If you're into crystals, perfect crystals to use are carnelian or anything orange or yellow crystals. Creativity is our chakra that gives us rebirth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And also another crystal that is great to use is pyrite, right?
Oh, beautiful.
Isn't that gorgeous?
Yes.
So pyrite is creativity as well. And remember, we talked about in the beginning, what is this about wanting to paint and so do beadwork and all this other kind. It doesn't have to look like that. Creativity can be writing, can be speaking.
Mm-hmm.
So it's rebirth. And this time is particular with the energy of love and loving relationships. And as far as I'm concerned, falling in love with yourself again.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It doesn't necessarily mean you're looking for a soulmate, but it's that romantic love that this new moon is bringing in for us. And also the confidence and courage to be able to take risks. So if we work on loving ourselves first, which is always a great thing to do constantly,
Mm-hmm.
then we can attract whatever else we love and desire in our lives. Not want or need, because those are words of lack.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
But desire. So,
Yes.
you can align yourself and do a new moon ritual tonight.
Mm-hmm.
If you choose to do that. That would be really the best time.
Yes, absolutely. Completely agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we're going to get ready to wrap up here, but I just want to make sure that I give you the opportunity before I plug you in for all of the ways we can connect with you. Is there anything else that you want to say regarding portals, regarding the Lionsgate, anything else for the people to know in preparation or in moving forward?
Yeah, just a couple of things. Remember that your chakras, we have 114 of them. Two of them are outside of our body, and we have the 7 main chakras. If those are blocked or they're not spinning properly, or if their colors are dull, and seek a spiritual professional to help you with that. Those are like closing the door partway on the gate, or
Mm-hmm.
or pulling the shade down on a window, if you will.
I like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
we're not working at our highest capacity.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of other portals. We travel, we do astral traveling in our dreams. So pay attention to your dreams, especially around this time of, high energy.
Mm-hmm.
Sacred geometry, those beautiful pictures that are fully aligned. I mean, if you go out in nature, and you look at flowers and there's sacred geometry, and that has information that can be downloaded into our DNA.
Mm-hmm.
So be aware that this is a time that we are receiving information that is changing and upgrading, if you will, almost like we're computers upgrading
Mm-hmm.
our DNA.
Yes.
And just astral traveling, that's like a as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd love to, if you have any other questions, I'd be love to talk about it. But I'd also love to do, just before we close, a brief Lionsgate new moon meditation if you feel up for that.
Yes, I would love that. I would absolutely love that. You know, I've mentioned this before because I've shared this with you, but you definitely inspire me. And so, um, you know, part of how we connected was because you took the initiative to do a global live meditation during last year during COVID, and you did that consistently for the month of April, I believe it was. And I just appreciate your dedication and your consistency to do that. And you inspired me to start doing that as well. So I started periodically doing live meditations. So I definitely welcome you to lead us in a meditation. I do want to ask, because you have so much knowledge, how did you find out about all of these things? I mean, what are some resources, any books or anything that you've found on your journey that's been beneficial?
Oh, that's a great question. Honestly, the best way that I have learned has been through experience.
Yes.
You know, it's always good to have a mentor, someone who, and that's, I always see us as climbing up a mountain where there's someone just a little bit further up than you who's reaching down to hold your hand and pulling you up. And then it's my responsibility to reach down and hold someone else's hand and pull them up and,
Mm-hmm.
you know, just trickle down that knowledge. So it's great to have a mentor. I mean, there are tons of, and there's so much that I think you know, listeners would want to choose something that speaks specifically to them.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But I think it's really experience a perfect time to reflect that in what, and we talked about that, what have we experienced before? Um, Out of body experience. I've had out of body experiences. I've had experiences of seeing shifting time in front of my eyes. All of those experiences, working with the archangels, the angelic realm, and especially trusting. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's the most important thing is if you trust yourself and you don't question that the information that you're getting is pure and for your highest and best. When you do that, the world, I mean, that's a portal in itself. The world, everything opens to you and you can get information. It's just about trusting that. So I
Yes,
hope that helps.
absolutely does. Thank
Yeah.
you so much. You
Yeah.
know,
You're welcome.
yes, and I just want to thank you again for just agreeing to this. You know, it's very rare to find individuals that are as humble as yourself that have so much knowledge. You know, I think sometimes in the spiritual community, spiritually inclined people can either unintentionally or intentionally seem really closed off and unapproachable, and unintentionally maybe make others feel unworthy to even be in their presence. And I've never experienced that with you. And so I appreciate you just being that humble spirit. And please let us know how we can reach you. And then we'll go into the meditation.
Sure. I'd love to. I'd love to. So you can reach me. It is Elizabeth Gifford Maffei, and that's an interesting way to spell it. That's time for another story, but if you're on Zoom, you can see the spelling of that, Elizabeth Gifford Maffei.com. Or you can reach me on my phone number, text, phone call, whatever you choose. Screen here as well, 321-303-8649. I love having conversations. I love finding people where they are and helping them to grow to their next stage, whatever that looks like for them. I'm on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. So let's connect. Let's just build more of that beautiful, compassionate connection with one another, and it just takes it's just one person at a time, and that's how we grow.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And again, Elizabeth's information will be in the bio. So if you didn't catch all of that, please check the description. I will have her information listed below. And whenever you're ready, we are ready to receive the meditation.
Perfect. So I'd like you all space of pure love and perfect adoration for yourself. Remove all limiting beliefs, all thoughts, all worries, all concerns for just one moment. And put your feet flat on the floor. Relax. Relax your jaw muscles, relax your shoulders. No tension, no worries. There's nothing you have to think about that has happened in the past or that will happen in the future. There is only the now. Relax your hands. Know that you are lovingly being taken care of by Mother Earth. And we're going to connect to your higher selves and to the Lion's Gate. So take a deep breath in through the nose, push your belly out. This is a deep belly breath. Deep breath in through the nose, hold it, 1, 2, 3, and breathe out through the mouth. Feeling relaxed with each breath. Another deep belly breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Knowing that we are all connected at this very moment. You don't have to do or be anything. Just be present. Feel yourself dropping into your heart space. Feel as if you're giving yourself this hug right in your heart, loving and nourishing. And so above as below, Mother Earth is holding you lovingly. And as you are in this beautiful heart space, see above your head, above your crown chakra, your soul star chakra is opening up, this beautiful gateway. You might envision it as crystal colors, or white, radiant, or golden. And connect to the energy of the stars, Orion, Sirius, our sun, and see a beautiful beam of light coming directly down into you and settling into your heart. It feels warm and loving and exciting and nourishing. And as you feel this entering into your heart space, see your heart and the love for yourself and the connectedness to all expand, expanding out beyond your body, expanding out beyond your home, beyond your town, your city, your state, your country. Feel each of us connecting in a way that is not describable. You are safe and loved and energized. And into you is pouring love and confidence and all of your creativity. And your body is being restructured to be able to receive the highest and best for you. And while you are here, take just a moment to set an intention for transformation. Ask that you receive from your highest self a new way, a new hope, a new love. Feel this energy within your heart. Soak in this energy of the lion, confident, energetic, and so loving. Know that as you have expanded your heart, you have connected with all in the universe, the collective consciousness. You feel them, and they will forever feel you. Take a deep breath in. Release. And open your eyes. And I send all of you every blessing you could desire and more. And whenever you are ready, you may return.
Thank you. I receive.
You are more than welcome. It's hard to come back sometimes, isn't it? It's really hard.
Yes, and with that, we will all return back because we're all walking each other home. So let's all just come back and return back to the source. So thank you so much, Elizabeth, for just an honor to connect with you and for blessing us. So sending that blessing right back to you. Thank you very much.
I receive.
And we will see each other again. Until next time.